Here's another video tip we've been wanting to share with folks for a long time, and kind of a pet peeve of mine, and that is rope handling. Oftentimes when you're working with your horse, you're out there and you want something to happen, and we see folks fumble for their rope. Let's see, where's the tail end of my rope? And they're too late. So you want to get to where you can be pretty handy with your rope. I like to encourage people to get to where their rope is kind of second nature to them. Now later on, some of you may be interested in roping cattle or maybe roping your horse in the round pen, and we do have a few videos on that, some basic last rope handling. But I like to go over handling your lead rope. This is a skill that we see lacking in a lot of people, and it's something that you can do right away and get really good at, so it becomes second nature to you, and we'd like to see that happen for you. Don't be intimidated by this rope. Now, your rope can be a wonderful tool for communicating with your horse. There are times when you need to firm up and use your rope wisely. I don't want you to think of your rope as being a horse beating tool. That's not what this is about. But there are times when your horses, especially your green horses, you have some horses that'll push you over or run you over. If you could get handy with your rope, you could eliminate that from happening. So, and even a well-broke horse, sometimes they need a little reinforcement, and that tail end of the rope can be a little signal. We'd rather not have to use it, but we'll dang sure use it if we need to. So this rope is a lead rope. This is 13 feet long. It's on a double diamond rope halter. We like that combination. The tree line, which has a blue core in it, has a lot of life in it. A popper is optional. We just cut a length and keep it handy. You can have a lot of life in this rope where you can feel that rope overhead. I like to just swing it. You notice I have it between a couple fingers here. I can have it coming out the tail end of my hand where my little finger is. Let me go over that here, break in. We've all heard the term being all thumbs, as if all thumbs meant not being coordinated. We see a lot of folks holding their horse with their thumb towards their horse, and in this case, this would be my horse here, so my thumb end would be pointing towards my horse, and my other thumb end towards the tail end of my rope. I don't have the dexterity, the coordination with my thumb end of my hand. Where I'm a lot handier is out where my little finger is. So my thumbs point towards me. Now those of you riding and holding your reins correctly know that your reins come out the small end or the little finger end of your hand. That may be between a couple fingers, but it's at least coming out that end of your hand. So very important. Make that a habit so you don't even have to think about it. And the things I'm going to show you here also should become a habit so that you don't have to think about them. If you need your rope to reinforce something, you should instinctively know what to do with that rope. So practice this. This is one of those great things you can do when you want to be working on your horsemanship and refining your skills, and maybe you don't have your horse there. So I'm going to go back to swinging this rope. And you notice if I turn sideways, it's moving about the same speed all the way around. There's not slack up here towards the top like that where it dies and then I add it again. This is a matter of keeping my hand moving in a circle. I'll make it bigger for you, but it could be even a small circle here. But there's life in this rope. You notice sometimes as I'm going along here I might change my fingers, but it's always coming out of the small side of my hand. Now, for the sake of not having a horse to hang this rope on, I'm going to switch hands here. So I'm going to drop this rope here, and I'm going to come in and I'm going to practice switching hands and still swinging the rope in the other hand. You notice I whacked myself in the leg. So swinging your rope, having life. And then get to where you can point it at things and actually have a target that you can hit with that rope. And maybe move over here, swing it this way. You could slow it down and still have life in it, or you could speed it up and you can hear it whistle through the air there. I'll come back to this hand over here, swing it, and there's a little piece of wood here, little chip. I'm going to whack with that rope. I'd like to get to where I can put some power into that rope. You notice if I pull back here, if I pull back, that causes it to whip. You've heard a stock whip crack. it's breaking the sound barrier. You're not going to do that with the rope like this. It's a little too heavy. But if we want to get to where we can direct the life in that rope anywhere we want to. So, another thing you should get good at with this rope is shortening it up as you're swinging it around here. So I'll use my other hand and just pull it through this hand. Now it's a shorter rope out here, shorter radius. I can let it slide through my hand and make it bigger, like that. Oops, don't want to let go of it, but that does happen. So make it bigger, and pull it back and make it smaller. Now if you're wanting to desensitize your horse with your rope, which you'll be doing, you might swing it over their back. You don't want to frighten them or hurt them with it. So when you swing it over the back, you're going to just throw the slack to it and it's going to die. It's not going to whip back and smack your horse. But if you do need to put some more energy in it, if you do pull back on it here, you're going to get a whip in it and it is going to crack. You are going to inflict some pain, which you probably don't want to do. So if you're just swinging it over your horse, throw some slack to it, let it die. Play with it. I could be here for an hour or two explaining more and more about this rope, but you're going to learn more about this rope by getting out and playing with it yourself, feeling it, get the life in it. Another thing you're going to want to do is, if you are working with your horse, I'm going to put my horse over here on the right, you're going to want to get to where you can jump down your rope. You notice how I do that. It's not a big deal. You're going to be jumping down your reins from time to time. You're going to want to shorten up. Just pick it up and reach down. Your horse will separate that you're doing this, that you're not pulling or bumping on your horse. You're just shortening up your rein, making it shorter, or you could make it longer. Notice how I just twist my fingers and throw the slack out and let it fall. So there are some things for you to work on, as if you probably don't have enough to work on. This one I feel is pretty important, very basic to good horse handling. So again, we always want you to have fun with these things, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us. Thanks for watching.